Good morning, praise the Lord. Yeah. Good afternoon if it's afternoon. Good evening if you finna go to bed. This is the Book of Racq podcast. I'm Rock. Honey, child, precious Lamb of the Father God. Where exactly do we start? Where is the starting point of the things? Okay, let me just give a couple of disclaimers here. This will probably be the longest episode, and it might end up being a two-parter. It's giving two-part, depending on how far we go. And also, this will be my most vulnerable episode, I'm sure. Because what? What exactly is happening at this moment? So, and I have water. As you can see, I'm on my floor because we'll get to that part. But there's lighting, and it's absolutely amazing. I have my ring light, but I also have, we'll talk about it. Hold on one second. So, praise the Lord. So glad that you're here today. So glad that you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being present. So I have been on vacation from posting and things for the last 3 weeks. Still recap, shall we? I graduated with my associate's degree on August the 8th. And shortly after that, a lot of things were happening. And so by the 22nd, I did my last episode of Let's Talk Sugar before the break, because it was like, I'm going to need the next couple of weeks to just take a second. I have a lot going on, and right now I can't have the responsibility of the pods. And I also just need to focus on some other things. So I took a break, and I've been on vacation. So I've not been doing any work, not been taking any graphic orders, I think I took one meeting a couple days ago because I put on the calendar like way long ago. And then I looked over one document for somebody for like a review. But besides those two things, I haven't done any work stuff, which has been very different for me because we need money. So like, good God. We need funds. So like, me not working with everything that I've had going on has been a very vulnerable place for me, but also been like, I need a break. My brain needs a break. I was in school for 2 years straight without a break. I did not take a semester off while working full time, while doing the podcast. And so by the time, and then just life stuff out in addition to that. So by the time all that was over and I had the chance to take a break, I needed to take the break. So I did. And yeah, so that was that. But the biggest part of the reason why we're diving right into here. I did the quick recap because we got to dive right in here. We ain't got a whole lot of time. Let's take a pause. Praise God that I'm not in my car, because I have a quiet space to do some things. But the biggest reason why I took this 3-week break is because as of this moment, I no longer live in Tallahassee. Let's take a moment. Everybody exhale. Just breathe out for a moment. I no longer live in Tallahassee. Why am I about to cry? That just whooped me. So during my vacation, I was getting ready to move. I'm gonna lose it. So the 22nd, the last Let's Talk Sugar episode was also my last day of work. And then for the next 3 days, I was saying bye to my friends. And my loved ones. Because it was time to go. And as much as I was ready to leave Tallahassee, I wasn't ready to leave my people. And this is the first time I've said that out loud. So just give me a second. Tallahassee, we knew it was seasonal and it was never going to be forever. I knew that much going into it. I knew that it was a temporary thing, but it went by really fast. And so having to say goodbye to people literally changed my life. Broke my heart. If I could have put them in the car with me, I would have. And they probably would have been down for it. Because a good number of them work remote kind of jobs or are always on the road anyway. We probably would just figured it out. If we could have. But that 2-year period of my life changed everything about me. Changed everything. And so to literally finish a degree, finish one chapter in the education world, and then literally 2 weeks later, close another chapter, or 2.5 weeks later, close another chapter, was a lot. It was a lot. And I had therapy on the 23rd, the day after my last day of work. That's how I started my vacation, because I needed to talk to somebody. And I cried a little bit, but I also was like really excited. So I don't think I felt what I currently feel, because it's been a couple of weeks since then. And so yeah, I was there for 2 years. Out of that 2-year period, 13 months. For 13 months, I had my own apartment, so I was by myself in this tiny apartment, but it was just me. And the Lord provided. We were happy. And it was a studio, so I didn't have a living room. I didn't have space to entertain nobody. Like, it was me. I think I had a couple of guests, but guests that I could sleep in my bed because ain't no room for nothing else. So 13 months of that time was spent in my own apartment. The first 4 months was spent when I first got there with someone at the time who allowed me to stay with them to get my foot in the door and get my footing, which I'm grateful for to this day. And then the last 7 months was spent with my friend. Okay, this is a lot. Okay. This is a lot. I also haven't recorded or, again, done any work. So, like, I haven't had these conversations. And now getting it out is like whoosh, a wave. All at one time. Okay. If I can get through this episode, that would be really amazing. I would really like to be able to tell this story. But my friend, one of my best girls, opened up her home to me. She had space for me to have my own little nook and my own bathroom. It was her and her toddler. We had one other roommate. And that 7 months was the best time. Best time. The memories I have from that time period. And I didn't want to originally go there. I just didn't know what it would be like. I never lived with a kid before. I'm TT Rock. I'm TT Rock, I love kids. But I never lived with a kid before, especially not a toddler. And because of the previous experience that I had with living with a friend ended so badly, I didn't want to do it again because I wasn't willing to risk that friendship. I didn't want to lose that one. I was never going to lose that one. I would have figured it out before I risked our friendship. And the way that the Lord restored my heart when it came to living with a friend. Not to say we're gonna do it again. I think the Lord checked that box for me. The next roommate I have will be my husband, and won't even be a roommate because absolutely not. But the Lord did not allow me to harbor this feeling that I could never live with anybody else, because how things ended with a person that I got there with were so like bleh, that I wasn't willing to risk another friendship like that. But the Lord had a way. So leaving her and my baby, I don't think he really understands that I'm not there full time anymore. I called him on FaceTime the other day and he was like, whatever. So it'll probably be a month or so before he realized TT not there. But that 7 months was the best time, and it was needful. It was stretching. I needed that community for this last phase of the journey. And even on days where I couldn't be social and where I didn't want to talk and I didn't want to engage personally, my Bree was like, friend, you haven't come back to the room in 2 days. So are you good? And it made me have to be like, Raquel, you can't sulk, you can't isolate. The Lord provided you community. There's some days you need to be quiet, but the Lord provided you community to restore you. And so I had to adjust and be able to receive that kind of love, which is amazing. But yeah, so graduated on the 8th. 22nd was my last day. And then that weekend was filled with time with my friends, with my loved ones, my girls, and they were present for me. They celebrated me. I was able to rest on Friday, or really Thursday night and Friday. I had multiple sleepovers in one weekend. I had dinner. I got to hug my people, and I was grateful to God for that time. And then by the 28th, at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Eastern, I was on the road. And because of what was going to happen the next couple of weeks, I had some engagements. I was going out of town and all these different things. I only packed in my car what I needed immediately. So as of this moment, I'm on my floor because I have no furniture. There's nothing in my new home, my new apartment, but me and electricity. So I have no furniture. I'm just here. And one person blessed me, and I went and got new cookware and some plates and stuff, because y'all know I like to cook. But I have nothing here. I literally have nothing here. And I was like, now, Lord, how this gonna work? So my plan was to, let's back up. So yes, I left on the 28th. And I took the longest road trip of my life by myself and came to my new home in my new city, in my new state that is north of Georgia. And so I am now 6 hours away from my parents. I am 8 hours away from Tallahassee. And I'm by myself. Once again, I am by myself. And there were a couple people I knew here, but I had no expectations of anything regarding relationships or what would come or anything. All I had was a word, and it was basically like, you going from the Lord. And I was like, that's so crazy. Like, why would we be doing transition again? Like, I just settled into Tallahassee. It's crazy to go ahead and be like, yep, you're leaving. But May of this year, the Lord started, really April of this year, really top of the year, but then it was like not a conversation. But then again in April, he was like, hey, didn't change my mind. I'm like, are you crazy? Why would we do that? So officially by May is when I told my people, I'm gonna be gone in 90 days. 90 days. And so very few people knew, because number one, it's my business. But number two, because it was a matter of faith, I could not afford to open up all these individual conversations about what I was doing. Let's take a beat right there. When the Lord gives you a word and is like, hey, I need you to step out and do pop, 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 it is not a conference call. And I've been saying that for months. When the Lord gives you a word, sometimes, a lot of times, it's not a conference call. And you have to fully trust that he said what he said. And so there are certain people you can have conversations with because they know how to pray. And they can just help you pray through this transitional moment or whatever is happening. But other people you can't have conversations with because they'll be like, well, why would you do that? So what? Are you sure that happened? And they don't mean any harm. They really don't. They want to make sure that you are physically okay and that you're going to be taken care of or whatever the case may be. But when you're already questioning, Lord, did I actually hear you? Okay, God, I want to be sure I heard you. I want to be sure, like, this is real. I want to, okay, God, are you sure? Like, you're already back and forth in your own self, right? You're already in this battle and having to fully trust that God said what he said and stand on that, right? You've gotten confirmation after confirmation after confirmation, right? And then he says, yeah, you're going. Some people you tell that to, they'll be like, now why would you do that? Are you sure? And it's a whole thing. And then all of a sudden you feel like, well, maybe I didn't hear God. Well, maybe I missed him. oh, okay, well, maybe. And you start questioning and second guessing, and then you slowly start to back out of what he said. And I could not afford to do that. So there's some people that are just now finding out, and some people that are finding out during this episode that I have even left the state because I couldn't afford to have conversations. I couldn't afford to have conversations. Not that I didn't love people, not that I didn't care, not that I didn't, not that I was trying to be secretive, but I had to be very intentional with my movements. And now that I'm physically here, we can talk about it all day. But while I was in the process of walking it out, I couldn't afford to have certain conversations. So that's that. But anyhow, the plan was for me to leave out on the 28th, which I did. And then I was going to be here for a couple of days, be in the city for a couple of days, and then fly out to New York because I had an opportunity there. And then I was going to fly back into Florida, within the next week or so to get my belongings and da-da-da-da-da. That was the plan. But I had booked a one-way flight to New York because I did not know how the week was going to go based on this opportunity. So either it was going to go really well and I was going to be there for a really long time, or it was going to go not in my favor or not the way I wanted, and I was going to end up coming home sooner than later. And so the latter happened. Let's back up. I stayed, the opportunity was in New York City, but I ended up staying in Jersey with my aunt, who is my grandpa's daughter. And so I got to spend 5 days with them, 4.5 days, with my aunt, my cousin, my baby cousin, and my uncle. And we had the best time, watched Grey's Anatomy. And then we got to talk about my grandpa. And God dang it. And being able to have those conversations with her was almost like me talking to him about what was going on in my life, since I can't do that anymore. And I know how like over the moon he would have been about this whole last 4 weeks of my life. But it was needful that I did that. So anyhow, I took the train back and forth from Jersey to New York, and I navigated that train system by myself. And my people were watching my location like a hawk, like, are you good? Are you safe? Are you in the Uber? Like, I had to take Ubers from certain places. Are you in the Uber? Like, where are you? They were stalking my location, okay? Not playing games. My dad was like, you need to have your location on at all times. Like, okay, everybody calm down. I'm a big girl. But I had to also look like a local, so I had my headphones in, and I was chilling. Like, I've been there the whole time, so you can't get your girl. And I came out unscathed, praise God. But it was a blast. I had a really good time. But the opportunity that I was looking forward to did not go in the way that I wanted to. So by Tuesday, I got there Saturday. By Tuesday night, Tuesday evening, I had done all my exploring. I had taken all my pictures. I had done all my things. And I was like, I'm ready to go home. And I would have gone to Florida, but the flights were much more expensive to go sooner than later. And I also was like, I want to go to the apartment that I'm paying for. Because at this point, I signed a lease and then got on a flight, literally, the next day. So I got lights on and water and, you know, I'm ready to go home. I have a home that belongs to Raquel that I want to go home. I want to go home. And we'll just have to figure out my belongings later because I want to go home. And the goodness of the Lord, that, I looked at the flights. I was on this app that gives really great cheap flights. And they had a flight for the next afternoon for the Lulu, because it was a one-way. I was like, we gonna go. So I booked it, and it was like the last bit of money. Okay? The last bit of money. Because let's review. I have left the state. I have moved into an apartment. And now I've gone to New York City. What? What? And it was all sponsored by Raquel. Girl, please, somebody send me a Zelle now. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Jesus. But anyway, used my last bit of money, and I got my flight, and I went home. So got back to home, got to the airport, friends came pick me up, and I got to my house. And I was like, look, if I gotta lay on the floor, I'm gonna be in my house. And I did that. So anyway. So I've now been here for 2 weeks. This past week was my second week being here. And it finally hit me that I'm away from home. From both of my homes. I'm away from Georgia. I'm away from Tallahassee. Like, I'm away. And I can't just pick, like in Tallahassee, I had the luxury of being in Columbus in 2 hours and 35 minutes flat. Supposed to be 250. But you know. So I had the luxury of being there pretty fast. Now I am away, and I have to plan. I can't just like leave at 5 o'clock after work and be like, I'll be there by 8. No. I have to plan a trip if I plan on going. I have to plan for this, or have to book a flight, which I have never lived in a major city where an airport is readily accepted. I've only had like the miniature airports. So to have a real airport is like, okay, all right, I like it. So that's convenient. So if I don't want to drive, I can fly into Atlanta and have somebody come pick me up. But we haven't gotten that part yet. Anyhow, the last couple of days specifically, I've actually felt the isolation again. And so, though I've spent the last couple of weeks on vacation mode, I called it a vacation, but the reality was it was all transition. I did have my New York moment. I explored, went to Jersey. So that part definitely was a vacation. But outside of that, it was all transition, and a whole lot of feelings, and a whole lot of emotions, and a whole lot of, who God, are we sure this is happening? And that's been a lot. And for the last literal 3 days, it has rained all day. If you listen hard enough, you will hear the rain in the background, because it literally rained all day Thursday, all day Friday. Yesterday, it stopped for like half a day and then started again last night, and it's rained all day today. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow too. And so on my low days when I haven't been doing anything, I've literally gone to the park and taken a walk, or just gone to sit and explore, you know. But it's been raining 4 days. And I'm like, okay. So I'm just here with my thoughts and my journals and audio journals, and like I'm cooking because the Lord is kind. I literally, but cooking, sleeping, and then sleeping and cooking is what I've been doing. And then find some kind of movie on Tubi. That's it. And I still have to get my furniture some way in Tallahassee. Of course, it requires money, but still have to get that. I still have to. So I have had a remote job set up, but it's based in Tallahassee, and they want me to come back and get the equipment. They won't ship it to me. So even with income steadily, I still got to get back to Tallahassee to get my stuff. And I'm like, why won't y'all just ship it? But anyway. So all of that is in limbo. But I got an air mattress, and it's a deluxe one. It's almost as tall as a real bed. And I've been sleeping like a dog, baby. And I have all my bathroom essentials. I have a closet I can lay in. My living room is massive. That's the floor I'm sitting on. I got a fireplace. I got a kitchen. Like, my old apartment could sit in this apartment. But that's the kind of God I serve. And I'm paying what I told him I wanted to pay. I die. So, those kind of things. And I got a little balcony on the front part of my apartment. It's not on the back, it's on the front. So I gotta do all this decoration. I gotta get house stuff. I got to get settled. But it's just been 2 weeks. So I'm like, Raquel, do not rush this process. Do not be like, you need everything immediately. Take things one day at a time. Worry about today and today only, because you will stress yourself out. And there is no way that the Lord would open up all the doors that he did, and how quickly he set up this transition, y'all. Like, when I say stuff was back to back to back, he just swung doors open. There's no way that he would do all that and then snatch it back. Because I did my part. I said yes and obeyed, and here we are. So, but definitely feeling the isolation, and definitely feeling the why are we here right now? I'll start school again in January. Also, because of this transition, my school would have started, my bachelor's program, if I would have started in the fall, would have started like the week after I finished my associates. So it would have been bachelor's, move your life, travel, all these different things at the same time. I would have failed. And I was not willing to set myself up like that. I didn't want to cause myself that level of stress. So I pushed my start date to the spring. I'm not going past spring because I actually miss school. It's part of my life now. So I miss having assignments to do. It was like 3 weeks, but I was just like, I miss it. But I'm glad I'm taking this break. It was healthy for my brain, healthy for my body. And I needed the rest. But we started in spring 25, for sure. They already got my information. Because no. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Why? Why, Lord? Why? That's what I was saying. Why am I here? Because I'm just like, you brought me to this place. I know part of the reason. But that's a very, 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 very small part, I think. So I at least need some of the answers as to what I'm doing here in this new state. I gotta get a new driver's license and everything else. Which I'm struggling with having to surrender my Georgia license because I didn't even do it in Florida. Because I knew I wasn't going to be there that long. So I was like, I don't want to surrender my Florida license and be there for a year and a half, whatever. And I was originally planning to be there for all 4 years if I wouldn't have chosen another school to go to. Because I had options. But, I'm not looking forward to surrendering my license. I'm forever going to be a Georgia peach, and I don't care nothing about that. 706 per. But anyway. Yeah. It's very different, and people are like, well, what do you want to do for your birthday? What do you want to do for this? I'm like, baby, I am trying to make sure I am breathing. I'm trying to pay rent. I am trying to get Sir ducks in a row. I want my house decorated. That's what I want for my birthday. I want my house decorated. I want kitchen appliances for my birthday. Hello. I want furniture for my birthday. So my birthday is 3.5, 4 weeks away. I'll be 32. And I feel like my life is just getting started. It's wild. Wild concept. I have no children. I am single. I am alone physically. Not lonely. I miss affection, but I'm not lonely. I have people who love me, surrounded by love. I just can't tangibly grab it right now. But I do have people here. I do have some people here who don't play about me either. So that's nice to have. But my homes are away. And so that's different. But it's very much like, okay, God, your will, your bill, my boy. So I'm here. Out here. And I'm finna make dinner at some point because I need to eat. But yeah, that's that. It's a lot happening in my brain right now. So I know I didn't give full details, but like I did my best to explain what I could for right now because there's just a lot happening in my mind. I will say though, little announcement. We will only do one more episode of the Book of Racq podcast. So it'll be this episode and then the next one. And then by the week of my birthday, we're going to do something else. So I'm not done talking. I'm not done having conversations at all. But we're going to adjust just a little bit. So as long as you're subscribed to YouTube, you're good to go. It's just going to have a different name. But I'm looking forward to that too. I'm trying to level up in everything that I do while also in transition, while also trying to figure this out, while also trying to navigate change. But the Lord knows. He's good. He's so good. So good. And even when my heart is overwhelmed, He is here. My heart is overwhelmed. It is. This is a lot. All of this is a lot. Change, navigating new space, life, personal life, friendships, relationships, family. new beginnings. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm doing my best to breathe every day. But every single day that I've been here, I've had somebody at some point reach out and say, "Are you good? Are you breathing?" Or they sent iPhone games or something to make sure that I'm okay. Excuse me. Because it's been a journey. This journey is really just starting. So I'm interested to see where we end up. And if nothing, we'll be chronicling me decorating my house because, my God. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I am excited. It's a new beginning, new territory. I'm not in my car. I get to film in a quiet place. And still saying thank you for my studio, Lord, because I want to be able to go to my studio and record. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I love you guys. And we'll talk soon. I'll leave this as one episode. I won't break it up. So it's okay. Which would be a really, really long episode. Or longer than normal. But it's good. I love you guys. And we will talk soon in 2 weeks. I still want to do 2-week break because I need 2 weeks to get my life together. But we'll be back. I promise. Talk soon.